Somewhere in a fireproof vault, there used to be a flag that was destroyed by the exact kind of disaster it should have survived. Not war, not vandalism, an earthquake, and the fire that came after it. And the wildest part? The flag that burned wasn't some replica, it was the original. The actual first version of the flag flying over California right now. Today, we're taking apart the bear flag. Yeah, the one with the bear on it. And by the end of this list, you're going to realize that flag is hiding one of the strangest, short lived countries in American history. 10 facts. Let's count them down. Number 10. That bear walking across the flag? It's not just decoration. It's a grizzly bear, and it was drawn from real life, sort of, by someone who clearly hadn't practiced enough. The original artist sketched it fast, under pressure, with whatever materials were on hand. And when people first saw the finished flag, more than one person joked that the bear looked suspiciously like a pig. An entire state's identity, symbolized by an animal that got mocked the moment it was unveiled. And that's honestly the least embarrassing thing about how this flag was made. We'll get to worse in a minute. Number 9. This flag wasn't designed in some government office. It was hand-painted in 1846, using whatever pigment people could scrounge up. Some accounts even point to berry juice on a plain piece of cotton cloth by a settler named William Todd. No professional tools, no official process, just regular people in a rush making a flag because they needed one immediately. Which raises an obvious question. Immediately for what? Hang tight, because that reason is stranger than the flag itself. Number 8. Here's the reason. For about 25 days in 1846, California was its own independent country. A small group of American settlers in the town of Sonoma revolted against Mexican rule, declared independence on the spot, and needed a flag to prove it. So they made one, right then, and raised it over the town plaza. 25 days. That's the entire lifespan of the California Republic, shorter than most people's vacation time. And then, almost as quickly as it appeared, it was gone. Number 7. The original hand-painted flag survived for 60 years after that little revolution, carefully preserved as a genuine historical artifact. And then, in 1906, the San Francisco earthquake hit, followed by the massive fires that tore through the city afterward. The building storing the original flag burned down, and the actual flag, the one really raised in 1846, was destroyed completely. Every bear flag you've ever seen since then is a recreation. The real one didn't survive the very disaster you'd expect a piece of cloth to be safest from. Number 6. Now here's something that should bother you a little. The grizzly bear on this flag doesn't actually live in California anymore. Grizzlies used to roam the state by the thousands, but by the 1920s, hunting and habitat loss wiped them out entirely. The last confirmed California grizzly bear was killed in 1924, which means every single day, California flies a flag proudly featuring an animal that has been completely extinct within its own borders for about 100 years. Number 5. Look at that single red star in the corner. It's easy to miss, but it's doing a lot of quiet work. That star was a deliberate nod to the idea of a short, independent republic standing on its own. The same visual idea Texas used on its flag just a few years earlier for the exact same reason. A small group of people declaring themselves separate from a larger nation. 2 different states, 2 different revolts, and somehow the same lonely star ended up representing both of them. Number 4. Despite being created in 1846, this flag wasn't officially adopted by the California state government until 1911. 65 years passed between the flag being hand-painted in a rush during a revolt and lawmakers finally saying in writing, yes, this is our official state flag. For over 6 decades, California's most iconic symbol existed purely by tradition and popular use, not by any actual law. Number 3. Once lawmakers did make it official, they didn't stop there. Like several other states, California eventually locked in exact legal specifications for the flag's proportions, the bear's pose, and the precise shade of red used in the star and stripe. So the flag that started as a rushed, hand-painted, slightly pig-looking sketch eventually became one of the most legally precise designs in the entire country. Quite a glow up for something drawn under pressure in a farmhouse. Number two, those two words at the bottom, California Republic, are a little more awkward than they look. Historians still debate whether that 25-day breakaway government was ever a real republic in any meaningful sense. It had no international recognition, no lasting government structure, and barely existed before California ended up joining the United States anyway. And yet, nearly 2 centuries later, every single flag still proudly announces a republic that barely got off the ground. Number one, here's the actual legacy of that tiny 25-day rebellion. This flag has become one of the most recognizable, most bootlegged, most parodied state symbols in the entire country. It's on flags outside California itself. It's been remixed into independence movements, protest art, and merchandise nobody in 1846 could have imagined. A flag made in a hurry, using berry juice to represent a nation that barely existed for less than a month, somehow became one of the most iconic symbols in American history. And that's the real story hiding behind one grizzly bear, one lonely star, and two words that were never quite true. A flag born from a revolt nobody remembers correctly, carrying an extinct animal, legally perfected decades after the fact, and still flying with total confidence over every single one of California's 40 million residents. If you learned something new today, you already know exactly what's coming next. Every state's got a flag, and every single one of them is hiding a list just like this. Which state should we crack open next? Drop it below, and I'll see you there.